What's going on, guys? It's Swimzyy here, and welcome back. Now in this video we're going to be looking at the Incarnon Prisma Gorgon. The Gorgon is pretty much a bread and butter based assault rifle. It's kind of like a LMG assault rifle hybrid, and it's pretty basic, but the Prisma Gorgon is way better than the standard Gorgon, and the Incarnon form, it's not too bad. Firstly, I just want to say thank you so much for all the support you guys have shown me on my previous videos. It really does mean a lot to me, and thank you very much. If you did enjoy this video, please like, share, and subscribe, and let me know down below your thoughts on the Gorgon. That being said, let's get into the build. So this is the Prisma Gorgon. You can put the Incarnon Genesis Gorgon on the standard Gorgon, the Gorgon Wraith, or the Prisma Gorgon. I decided to choose the Prisma Gorgon because it has better stats overall. This is the build. Now, as always, I have two setups for you. So this is the endgame setup, and I'm going to be showing you this first. With this build, we have Galvanized Chamber, plus 80 multi-shot, on kill, plus 30% multi-shot for 20 seconds, stacks up to 5 times. Hunter Munitions, plus 30% chance to apply slash on critical hits. Galvanized Aptitude, plus 60% status chance, on kill, plus 40% direct damage per status type affecting the target for 20 seconds, stacks up to 2 times. Rhyme Rounds, plus 60% cold, plus 60% status. Malignant Force, plus 60% toxin, plus 60% status. Critical Delay, plus 200% crit chance, negative 20% fire rate. Serration for plus 165% damage, Vital Sense for plus 120 critical damage, and Primary Merciless rank 5, on kill plus 30% damage for 4 seconds, stacks up to 12 times, and we get 30% reload speed. On the left hand side we have the critical chance at 108%, critical multiplier 5.1 times, status 45%, doing slash and viral for 293 total damage. Moving on to the standard build, we have Serration for that base damage, Vital Sense for crit damage, Shred for fire rate and punch through, Rhyme Rounds for 60% cold, 60% status, Malignant Force for 60% toxin, 60% status, Critical Delay for plus crit chance and negative fire rate, Hunter Munitions for that chance to apply slash on critical hits, and Split Chamber for multi-shot with the same arcane. Now this build is for the standard new player friendly, so if you don't have an arcane, that's all good. This build will work out just fine. The stats on the left hand side, 108% critical chance, 5.1 times critical multiplier, 33% status, doing slash and viral for 310 damage. With the builds out of the way, let's go into Cavallero in the Zaraman. Alright, so we are at Cavallero, and he evolves your Incarnon weapons as always. Let's go down to the Prisma Gorgon. So this weapon has 4 Forma on it. It's a pretty decent weapon, but it's not as good as a few others like the Torrid, the Mitre, and the Latron. So keep that in mind. It is pretty decent, but it's not going to be the hardest hitting weapon. Now with every Incarnon, Evolution 1, play a solo mission with this weapon equipped, and you will gain the Incarnon form. Evolution 2, get 100 kills with the Incarnon form, and you get the choice between these two. Hunter's Mantra, increases damage by 5 with channeled ability active, plus 3 punch through, and plus 40 accuracy. Or Hoplite Virtue, increase damage by 5, on shield break, increases damage by 8 for 8 seconds. I decided to choose Hoplite Virtue because it would give me better stats overall compared to Hunter's Mantra. I'm not running channeled abilities, so I get the full benefits of this choice rather than the other one. Moving on to Evolution 3, you have 3 choices. Resonant Restore, on reload from empty, increases magazine capacity by 15, stacks up to 3 times. Rapid Reinforcement, plus 50% reload speed. Or Void's Guidance, negative 50% weapon recoil. This one is a bit of a dud. I would not choose Resonant Restore. However, you could choose between Rapid Reinforcement for that reload speed, or Void's Guidance for that negative weapon recoil. Moving on to the fourth and final evolution, Survivor's Edge. Increases critical chance by 2%, increases status chance by 6%, Elemental Balance increases status chance by 12%, or Absolute Valor increases critical chance by 6%. I chose Absolute Valor because even though it has a little bit of crit chance increase, I like crit weapons myself, so this weapon will do just fine with the plus 6% benefit. Now, let's go on to the Simulacrum. Alright, so we're in the Simulacrum, and I'm going to be using Mirage today for these tests. Now, the first set of tests, I'm going to use no abilities whatsoever, and then the second set of tests for each build, I will run all of the abilities, just so I can show you the minimum damage without abilities, and the maximum amount of damage with abilities. So this is the build we will test first, the standard new player friendly build, and it's pretty decent. I'm not going to lie, it's not going to do as much damage as the endgame setup, but it'll do just fine nonetheless. And we are going to be versing 20 level 165 Steel Path level Corrupted Bombard Eximus. Now this weapon, as I said before, it's pretty much a bread and butter assault rifle / LMG hybrid. But as you can see, it is dealing some pretty decent damage, but it does have a lot of recoil, so you could choose either the recoil or the reload speed choice from Cavallero. And it's doing some pretty decent damage for a new player friendly build. Yeah, overall this build isn't too bad. Look at that damage. That's crazy. Moving on to the Incarnon form, shoot the floor or an enemy and it will do a explosion, and that explosion has a radius, so you can make that radius bigger if you would really like to. I don't see a need to, but yeah, so far it's doing pretty good. The only thing you need to worry about is knockback. If you get too close like I just did, you will get knocked back, which I think they should remove entirely. I don't know why they added it in the first place, but yeah. Shoot that, there we go. Build this back up again. Doing some nice crits, a few oranges in there. This isn't a rapid fire type of Incarnon charge. This is pretty much shoot as fast as you can. There is no fire rate mods to it, I don't think. But there we go. Now I'm going to spawn them all again, and I'm going to show you with Mirage's abilities just how much damage this standard build can do. Look at that. That is crazy. The punch through is actually amazing. This weapon could be up there with one of the best, but obviously Mirage makes every weapon somewhat better than it should be, so take of that what you will. I don't mind this weapon, it's pretty fun to use. It's got a nice Incarnon form. Now I'm going to show you the endgame setup, the setup we've all been waiting for, and this pretty much just has galvanized mods. I wish I did have a Riven for this weapon. I would recommend crit chance, crit damage, or crit chance, crit damage, multi-shot. But it is what it is. This should still do a lot more damage. And there we go. Now, keep in mind with the galvanized mods, they take a little bit to power up. So if you get a couple kills, then you are going to do some serious damage. But it is still doing a lot of damage nonetheless. Look at that. Spectacular damage for an underpowered weapon. Pretty decent indeed. And that slash will take care. Moving on to the Incarnon form. A lot more damage with the Incarnon form this time around. A lot of slash, a lot of heat. A lot of damage. This weapon is just way too good, in my opinion. I would highly recommend you try this weapon out, because it is pretty fun, and it is a weapon that doesn't get a lot of love. So yeah, it's good to see weapons like this and the Angstrom getting the love they deserve. But now we're going to use it with all the abilities. Look at that. Decent damage. Make sure you hit headshots to get that critical damage bonus. Quickly reload. That's what I'm talking about. Look at that sound. That sound is so fucking amazing. Look at that. Speaking of damage, I'm actually going to get into a Steel Path survival. And I'm actually going to show you how this works in a real mission. So, I will see you there. So we are in a Steel Path survival on Void. We are on Mott, level 140 to level 145 enemies. And yeah, overall this weapon is pretty nice. I do like this weapon a lot. It is a very underpowered weapon, and I'm so glad I got the Incarnon form. It just makes it a lot better. Obviously, I wish the Incarnon form was better, but I'm glad it got one nonetheless, so I'm not going to complain. It's got a nice aerial of attack, a decent AoE weapon. And yeah, overall, this is probably one of the most fun weapons I've used in a long time. Another fun weapon that I actually have a video on my channel is the Incarnon Despair, which, if you want to check out, it'll be in the description down below. That weapon is pretty fun because it has the same type of AoE damage. And yeah, it's overall a really good weapon. This weapon is a good weapon. It's not going to be as powerful as the other weapons that I've previously mentioned, but it's still pretty good. And this weapon does a decent amount of damage by itself without any boosts, so I thought might as well take the survivability over the damage. How could you beat this damage though? This damage is pretty decent for a weapon that gets no love. Hopefully the meta changes with this Incarnon. I don't think it will, but it would be nice to see other people use this Incarnon form. Alrighty guys, well that has been the video. I hope you all have enjoyed. If you did, please like, share and subscribe. And let me know down below your thoughts on the Gorgon. For me, this is an A tier weapon, hands down. It's pretty good. The Incarnon form is pretty unique. We've only seen the Despair and the Gamma Core have these. Thank you all so much for watching. It's been Swim, guys. Later.